Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kremer from Oakville, Canada. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we are going to be making this card that is part of my November online card class. If you sign up for my card classes, usually the kits come with everything. Actually, not usually. The kits come with everything except stamped images. So this is one of the cards we're going to be making. When you get the kit, everything is included. I'm just going to grab some embellishments because I did not include it in my own package here. So the embellishments I used was the a shimmer sequins from the Christmas mini catalog. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to need some Stampin' Seal. We're going to need aqua painter. We're going to use Blushing Bride for the tree instead of what I used, which was the soft succulent for this one, because I just wanted to see what it would look like. But this one here that I did was done in the soft succulent. And then again, we're going to need some Versamark ink. Wow, this is really dusty. And then we're going to need some white embossing powder, which I'm going to grab right now. Now, as far as the sentiment goes for the card, you can use anything. This one was from the stamp set Whimsical Trees. For this new one, I'm going to use a sentiment. That was, sorry, my dog's moaning in the background. So this one I'm going to use Merry Christmas from the Christmas to Remember stamp set. But again, when you're making this card at home, if you have one of my kits, you can use whatever sentiment you have. So let's get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my tree first. We'll put that off to the corner. And again, I'm going to use Blushing Bride for this one. This is done on watercolor paper. And there we have lots of ink on that ink pad there. And we're just going to pick up some of that ink and just do a little squeeze of our aqua painter, get that water flowing. There we go. And I'm going to do like a really quick brush of color on just to start. And then I can always add some extra pigment along the edges just to give that more watercolored look. I think this watercolor technique is great because it sort of gives your tree some extra texture. And then I'm going to take my heating tool and I'm just going to dry this. Of course, my heating tool, the cord doesn't reach all the way over, so we're going to move this over to it. so now we have our tree. Sorry, I'm just going to add a little more light here. Hopefully that doesn't fall down. Okay, so next we're going to take our Tombow glue and we're going to add our trim to the tree. And this is also from the die cut, and the trim here is from the set Whimsical Trees. It's part of the bundle. Okay, and there goes that light. So my setup isn't exactly the best here. Okay, next we're gonna put on this trim. And then we're going to move on to our next step. We'll put that aside there. Okay, so we have our card base. We have the piece inside. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside of this yet. We'll work on the front of our card. And we're going to turn this around. Okay, so I have this piece here. It is measures a 5 1/4 by 4, and we're going to make sure that we mount that on right there. And of course, when you're doing this at home, I don't know if you can see, I have it embossed. You can use any embossing folder you own. I felt like using this one because I hadn't used it in a while, so cost per use, I decided I had to pull it out and use it. But again, you can use anything that you have at home. So we will mount that on there. Now, if you wanted to add a little more color to the background of this, you could probably just use a sponge and sponge some color. I'm just going to leave mine white. And then I have a piece of DSP here. And this measures, let me see what this measures here. Let's grab our ruler. So this measures 3 inches by 4, which is perfect. So if you have a if you have a full sheet of DSP, you can make 9 of these. Perfect, right? I have 3 dogs here with me this morning, so hopefully they can stay pretty quiet while I make this video. Only 2 of those dogs are mine, but I'm watching one for a friend. Okay, so we have that down. Next, we're going to put this piece down here. Again, you can pop it up if you want. I'm choosing to just leave it flat. So I'm just going to glue that down. And then this snowflake was cut out using a die from the bundle with Snowflake Wishes. This is from last year's Christmas catalog, but it is still current, I believe. So we're just going to put some glue on that, and we're going to stick this on right here. I think I'm going to bring it down just a little, just a touch here. Okay, now next part we're going to do is the tree, and this time I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. And I think the pink tree looks pretty good. Because this is watercolor paper and it sometimes sort of curls, I want to make sure I put enough dimensionals on there to sort of keep it flat. I normally wouldn't use this many. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of line it close to the bottom, but I guess it sort of depends on where your tree or where your piece started, because you don't want this tip to stick out too much. But again, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You just sort of put it all together and it somehow just works. Okay, next we're going to do our sentiment. And I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas on there. I don't know if this is going to fit. Guess we'll see. I think it will work. Gosh, there goes that light again. Maybe we will just leave it off. Okay, I'm just going to take this. I know what I'm looking for. I was going to just take this brush and brush the extra little specks off there. If you have the embossing buddy and use the embossing buddy prior to stamping, then you won't have this problem. But I don't always remember, and sometimes I'm just too lazy to do it. Okay, so let's dry this off. So there we have it. And I think with this one, I might just I guess I will trim it because then otherwise it seems kind of big. You don't have to trim it, trim your sentiment, but I just thought it was a little too big, and like I didn't want that big black strip right across my whole card. But again, if you don't like doing any fussy cutting, or and this isn't even really fussy cutting because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect when you trim it. So there you have it. And again, you can decide whether you want to pop that up or lay it flat. I think I'm going to pop it up, but I'm going to use I want to make sure that fits there. And then this part, the end part, I think I'm going to need some glue to glue that side down. So this one is sort of a combination of dimensionals and some glue. So the part that's going to touch the tree has the glue, and then the other part has the dimensionals. And then, of course, I have dog hair stuck on it. Everything is bare with dog hair. So we're going to try to make that kind of straight. And there we go. And then next we're gonna, the last part is doing our bow here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna layer all the ribbon together. I did not do this part for you. You'll have to do it yourself. You can either staple it together if that's easier for you, or I've included a piece of the white baker's twine, and you're just gonna again lay all the ribbon together one on top of each other, and then fold it in half, and then take your baker's twine and just tie a bow. If a bow is too difficult, just tie like a double knot and then tie the bow. And then trim off your ends, depends on how much you want sticking out. And then of course if your ribbon is a little too long, you can also trim that off too. Mine is going to be really short so that you can it doesn't cover up the sentiment. There, so that's a little shorter. It doesn't cover up my sentiment. And I'm going to add a couple of glue dots, or you can just sort of, you can also use your fast fuse and sort of just put some, see if we can even take this cover up. It's like fast fused on. That's crazy. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some fast fuse and see if I can put that on the back of this ribbon. Oh wait, this isn't called fast fuse, this is called Stampin' Seal Plus. So I have my Stampin' Seal Plus on the back of this ribbon here. And I'm just gonna lay that in the corner. So this card has lots of texture. We're gonna add some sequins. And how I do my sequins is I just put the glue on first where I want my sequins to be. And then maybe we'll do one here. So let's start with that and see what it looks like. And the great thing about these sequins is they have like a sort of flat back, so it's pretty easy to put it on. And there are different sizes. I think the big ones are a little easier to put on, but the small ones are kind of cute too. That one's not sticking. You can also stick these on with like glue dots, I think. That would work as well. So you can just add as many or as few as you want. And that's our finished card. And let's just stamp something on the inside since I have everything out already. Oh, we forgot to put the piece on the inside here. So let's put our piece on the inside. Normally I would stamp it before I put it in, but we have a lot of stuff on the desk. So again, I'm going to pull one of the sentiments from Christmas to Remember. And I really like this one. This one says, "Love and joy come to you, and may it last the whole year through." Oops, all the sticky stuff there. Excuse me. Now you can use any color you have. I think I'm going to use this Evening Evergreen for the inside of my card. Here we go. It's perfect. And then if you wanted to, let's add some snowflakes. some snowflakes using Snowflake Wishes. And of course I have this tickle in my throat now. And we've made it through this video so far without any disruptions. So that's awesome. So I'm going to add snowflakes right here. And then we're going to add some down here. And while we're at it, we might as well add some to the envelope. There, and I think that's perfect. So let's just leave it at that. So there is our finished card. This is the version with the pink tree. This is the version with the green tree. And I'm not really sure which one you like more. I like them both. I think the green tree looks a little more like a normal tree because you wouldn't see pink trees out there, but the pink is nice. I think it could still work, right? And again, let's just add a sentiment to the inside of this card. Whoops. I'm going to try to just double stamp it or use the stamp that's already there. I figure while we're at it, we might as well finish off this card. There you go. Happy Tuesday. And I have one more card for this series of 4 cards for my November class. If you're looking for my online classes or with that include the kits, you can find me on meetup.com, and I'm listed as Oakville Creative Escapes. I can only ship to within Canada. And again, you can always just watch the videos and make the cards at home with your own supplies. So have an awesome, awesome week.